Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Price. Thanks so much for coming back to Mayhem with such a terrific film. It sounds like it's got some fans, so we're going to come to you for some questions shortly. The last time you were here was 10 years ago with Colin, a film that cost £45. And this film looks like it cost $1 million.
Oh yeah, it was nowhere near them.
But what are your kind of ambitions with that kind of scale? I mean, are you constantly fighting to get as much on screen as you can?
Yeah, I think all the time really. And the thing with Colin, so I have 2 sketch read reviews and stuff. Even with Colin, I was 2 sketch read reviews or anything like that. But you know, things get back to you. And the thing that got back to me in that one was, shaky cam sucks. I was like, well, I have to have shaky cam in that because my friends suck. They can't act, they can't fight. I have to shake the camera around, and that's sort of hiding most of the time. So it's great to be able to have a camera that can be fairly still and sort of let guys beat the shit out of each other. So that was the idea with this film, really, if that makes sense.
What was the origin of the story then? Where you came up with the idea?
It was a weird one. So the guy that gets burned to death, Phil DeGuara, he's an actor friend of mine. And he phones me up, and I was a really bad impression of myself, like fucking Rick from Rick and Morty, like, Pricey, you gotta make a film in this shit scene. It's not even cocky. So Phil DeGuara says, you gotta make a film in this building in Croydon. And I went, oh, why? And he said, it's abandoned, they shot Suicide Squad there, it's like Hollywood shit, you should come and make a movie here. And I went, okay, great. So I came up with an idea that I thought could be shot there. We got a budget for this, very small budget, but when we went to that guy and said, hey dude, we hear that you drink with Phil in the pub. Can we make a movie in your abandoned building in Croydon? He went, yeah, 50 grand. And I was like, fuck, that's 10 grand more than we have. So we had to come up with a new place to shoot this, and we found a derelict building, like a Bosch factory. They asked us to paint up all the Bosch logos, but I think a couple are still in there. And that's where we shot that movie. So we just shot this movie in a building that was actually rigged for demolition. We only had it was a 2.5 week shoot. It was coming down in the half week at the end. I didn't tell my producer. But they said
it was really rigged for demolition.
No, it was going to be wrecking ball style. So there was no
You can see the wrecking ball out the window.
A bunch of guys waiting at the end, the batteries not included. Who the fuck references batteries not included? I'm sorry. So it was just kind of like that, really. So it was no explosions. They were fine.
We were talking earlier about your references as well. Like with things like Living in Oblivion.
Yeah.
What were the influences for it, especially as a martial arts film as well? What are the kind of key influences for you?
Well, the main films that I looked at, I really loved. I thought we could do something like this, but was like Living in Oblivion, Trespass from the 90s, and Judgment Night from the 90s, which has a wicked score that I used to listen to when I was a teenager, which is just rap and metal, Cypress Hill and fucking Pearl Jam together at last. So that really excited me. So something like that. But the martial arts element came in because I knew JP from a few, we just sort of met through a couple of the projects. I was like, you can do all the stuff that I've always wanted to do, I don't have to shake the camera around. This is great. So I just started writing projects, and this one came along, and yeah, we made this one.
It sounds like, from my perspective, I'm really naive when it comes to filmmaking. Someone there thinking, well, how do you plan something like this? Are you genuinely scripting all the way through? Are you thinking about it stunt by stunt?
It's the same as, the worry I had was, I didn't want it to be an action film. Necessarily, I'm going to be like just a story, a really fun story with some fun characters. My biggest worry was that the action would be the only thing people would like. They say, oh, the action was great, but the rest of it was okay. That was my biggest sort of worry with it. So I was always trying to write something that fit with the characters, really. So that was my main goal. I'm sure I didn't answer your question, but I'm sure I waffled there. I do that a lot.
It was enough. But when you're out sort of scripting it, or when you're on set, is there a difference between your scripted material and you could try and keep it loose? Is there a level of improv that takes place?
Yeah, and I kind of forget what it is. There's a couple of lines in this that I was going, oh god, these actors are so great. That's a really funny improv. And then it's going to sound like a prick now. I'm sorry. Then I'd read the script when I'm editing and I go, fuck, I wrote that. Holy shit. That's okay. But it's all in the delivery, not in the writing. So yeah, so it's always the actor. But yeah, I'm always improvising. The same thing with the fights. It's, we'd work on the fight sequences, and it was always a case of, because I try to operate the camera on the fight sequences because it's easier. Those actors hurt themselves every time they're doing a block, even with pads. So I'm always trying to operate the camera so if something goes wrong, I'm the one that everyone throws evils at, rather than my poor camera operator.
You've got a very short shoot, haven't you? I mean, was it 17 days?
17 days for this one, yeah.
So, is it one of those things where you've got to keep moving and you can't stop, or is it kind of, you can actually start working with people and trying new stuff out?
There's always time to try something out, I think, and it's crazy if you don't, from my perspective, because the script is just as loose, bare bones of how all this stuff starts. The depth comes when you start working with the actors and camera department. And I keep saying that to the actors, any actors who sound like a little bit worried about something, that the camera is as much of a character as they are, and they work with it. So we're always trying to move the camera to tell that sort of story. That feels like boring filmmaker shit, sorry.
I'm sure people don't mind. I'm sure there's some filmmakers out there as well. It's very sweary.
What the fuck are you talking about? I've been hanging on to that one for ages. What the fuck, where?
Has your house watched it?
My mother hasn't watched it, no. Jesus, I've never said cunt in front of my mother. I'm like, that's improvisation, man. That's the thing actors do when they can't think of a line.
Didn't write that line.
I did write that one. We made cinema, you cunt. That was like my favourite thing. Every time I showed the trailer to my mum or my dad, when that bit comes on, I was like, what's he saying? We make cinema, That's nice. Don't worry about that.
And what about that kind of marriage between practical effects and VFX? Where does your sort of heart lie?
We always try to do it practical. I think one of the things that we found work most effectively is if we can mix the two. And there are things we learned on this that we did on the next film that were a little bit based on what we can paint out easily rather than add easily, or add with more difficulty. And so that was kind of our angle on it, really, was always just try to mix the two as much as we could. But there were shots we liked that I was really pleased with, like the stairwell explosion was one that I really, really loved, because I think my special effects sort of guru, who also happens to be my girlfriend, so started working with Neil Corbold on a few things. And she said, we might be able to get some stuff with him, he seems very keen to help. And so she took me down to meet him, which I was a bit nervous about, because I'm really starstruck with guys like that. And he won Oscars for Gladiator, for all the special effects in Gladiator and Gravity. And he did all the stuff they did with Private Ryan. So I took down all these shots from films I liked. And it turned out, of the two I knew he did, which I was prepared for, there were like 5 other clips I didn't know he'd done those films, and he was like, I did that, I did that, I did that. You can have the thing we used to do that if you want. So I'm like, great, and that's how we did the stairwell explosion, and my girlfriend sort of smashed it with that one. It was right there.
Yeah, right. After Colin, you took a sort of detour into drama, as a sort of relatively straight drama. A very moving story about family dealing with grief.
Yeah. That was called Magpie,
And then
no one watched it. There are literally more people in this room watching this than watch Magpie, and we tried for about 5 years to get people watching.
But do you feel like returning to drama then, or are you sticking with genre?
I think I've got this kind of greedy thing going on where I think with Colin I just wanted to make that movie, and with this I wanted to make this movie, and with Magpie I wanted to make Magpie. So I think I like the idea of playing around with different genres. I think this one fits really nicely for me because it has a good mix of the character stuff that I love, the action stuff that I love, and it just, this one, everything seems to fit really nicely for the things I love the most. So I kind of want to do something that's more in line with this, really, that can, if you're watching a movie, you're doing this constantly, which is why I kind of enjoyed that moment where we kill Caitlin the Canadian, and then 3 minutes later we got this wily coyote dude splatting into the ground having fallen out of a window, and I was like, if I can have both of those moments play within 1.5 minutes of each other, then that's exciting.
Does it feel like you've got all those kind of those sort of colours you can work with then, because you've been constantly experimenting? So you can always say, let's try this emotional beat, and then we'll shift to something more comic.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I think it's just like being a fan of a film, and I guess like Spielberg and Hitchcock and those guys who do that so well. And so if you sort of like try for that, even when you fail, you end up with something a little bit more interesting than if I got really nervous and said, no, serious film, from start to finish. or funny film from start to finish. It's nice to have those layers, that shifting tone.
And Colin had that as well. Colin wasn't just a sort of straight zombie film. It's told from the point of view of the zombie character Colin, and very moving.
I think humour is a key to getting you on board with a character, because we can all relate to failure. So those characters fail, and it's just kind of getting you to connect with them on some level. So if you can do that, then the characters can be kind of assholes like the director of this film, but then hopefully he earns his stripes back by the end when he does things that terrify him and ends up ultimately dying.
When you're thinking about making a film about filmmaking, and we talk about living in oblivion, does sort of life imitate art? Or the other way, do you start thinking, well, this is just like the experiences I've had, or...
You know, I haven't had many experiences like that. I'm more safety conscious. I wouldn't take people into a building rigged with explosions and say, don't worry about it, that's not how fucking dynamite works. I wouldn't do that.
But you are in a building that's going to be demolished.
It was, but it was a wrecking ball. That's different. It's fine. The wrecking ball. Those guys worked during the day. We shot this at night. It's fine.
And do you feel like returning to horror?
You know what? Yeah, there's always something that's like you go, ooh, this might be quite fun. I like the idea of trying to do something that's absolutely terrifying, which we didn't do in Colin, and I don't think I've never attempted really. I think I've always sort of teased it, but never really committed, so maybe I need to get a little bit braver and do something that I can try to genuinely frighten people with.
Yeah, get braver. Let's go to the audience, see if they've got any questions. Is there a microphone going around? There is, so if you have got a question, put your hand up and the mic will come to you. And if you haven't got a question, we'll carry on with the Q&A.
So, Mark, first of all, thank you. That film absolutely rocked for me.
Oh, cheers.
You're welcome. Amongst all the other parts of the film, amongst all the other parts of the film that I really enjoyed, the comedy and whatnot. But I'm a big martial arts fan myself, and I'm really struggling to find, well, to handle the idea that you managed to get all those fight scenes done and that whole film done within that budget. I mean, when you watch films like The Raid, etc., and you watch those choreographed fight scenes, they must take so long to choreograph, film, shoot, and I'm not kidding, honestly, your scenes up there were like $1 million movie fight scenes. I guess the question really is, as part of the shoot that you did, how much of your time was actually devoted to getting those shots choreographed and shooting, etc.?
For most of the fights, we did a sort of previs, so we go to a gym and we figure out where the camera would work best, and then we do a very loose version, not necessarily with the same actors. JP was always there, but with whoever we could find of his team to try and work those out and where the camera should be. So I'd sort of look at those and figure those out as much as I could. But then when it came to shooting, things changed, the shapes of the room change. There's lots of things that go wrong. Someone will hurt themselves, not severely. We didn't have any real injuries in the film, but you pull a muscle or something would happen, because costumes play a big part in this as well, which we learned. So, some of these guys were wearing very cool, well-fitting suits, but that would give them, sciatica after a couple of takes. So there were lots of things that kind of went wrong, but not seriously wrong, just little things like that. But what we do is all the time we'd taken a shot at a time. Because of the previs, we knew what shots would work, how I'd need to cut those together. And because I was operating at the previs and I'd operate cameras for the main part of the shoot as well, it was always a case of, right, now I need this, now I need this. They'd sometimes say, if I throw a punch here and you're there, can you go all the way around there by the time the fist comes here? I'm like, you want me to run in an arc? Whilst your fist goes in a straight line at that speed? I said, can't. So how about you grab him, turn him around, and then do it here, and I'll just stay here. How's that? So things like that we come up with. But things like the knife fight, which is one of my favourite fights in the film, those guys didn't rehearse that. They spoke to each other over Skype, because Hong lives in Manchester, JP is in London, so they talked through moves, they'd rehearse things a little bit over Skype.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't see any of, and then I showed up on the day and I was like, right, I'm going to stand here, let's see what we can do. And so I was working the shots out during the shoot, and the high angle wasn't planned. I just went, I think I can climb up there and stick the camera down. And so I would do stuff like that and say, this would be quite cool for that shot, and I'll go over here for this one. And what I'm really shocked with, if there's any filmmakers in here, is that we shot all the fights on a, cheapo Blackmagic cinema camera. The rest of the film was shot on a 50-gram red cam. So we intercut those shots. My way to get out of trouble was I would shoot the shots as planned, but I'd always have the red cam on a long lens. So if I got stuck, I could just cut to that mess and then cut back to the shots that made sense. So that was a nice little get out of jail free card. So that's how we did it really. So if you just got a camera with a long lens and then just try your best with the other shots, you'll be fine.
I can't even get any leg above a foot high, so screw it.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Marc.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And there was another question over here. Just...
Hi there.
Hello.
Right, first of all, was awesome, loved it. I didn't expect a neck fountain spin thing. That was awesome. The question I want to ask is, when at the beginning, when they were actually setting up all the film crews getting set up, a lot of that felt very real to me because as a sound recorder in particular, I do that same complaint all the time. So I wanted to know how much of that was actually based off your own experiences and how much of that was you had to like sort of just from other people saying those kind of experiences to you.
I've got to be honest, I've been so lucky with the sound people have had. So I haven't had that at all, but I know a lot of filmmaker friends who have had that problem. So I think when I first, I was sent on a job to shoot like football. I don't know anything about sports, but I get these jobs occasionally when I do work with footballers. So I was sent to this somewhere in Germany to interview a footballer who's apparently really famous, but I don't know anyway. And the sound recorder went in through and was doing this noise, and I was like, oh, I'm going to spit now. It's just like the absolute, I was like, wow, what the fuck is that noise? How did you do that? Which Nicky couldn't do. So he just went, and he just did his thing. But yeah, and I thought, that's a really interesting thing. That's how they're checking the sound. That's amazing. I don't know what this technology is that they're doing with their voices, but great. So I just thought I'd stick that in. And then I sort of threw my confusion to Adam, except because it's an annoying noise. But I don't want to say to some dude that got on a plane with me who I didn't know and I had to go for a pint with after our job. I didn't want to be like, dude, what the fuck? What is that? But that guy's a really good friend of mine now. So he did do the sound of this film. He had better work that probably better. But that's where I kind of got that idea from. Just that. And all those film things, I've heard of them. I mean, I've never been in the situation that Marshall did. I kind of think the better way to make a film is to get everyone on your side and be nicer about it, because everyone comes into a film wanting to be there. It's, you scare them off as the shoot goes on if you become a prick. So try not to be a prick.
Try not to be a prick is the best filmmaking advice.
I'd have that on a t-shirt.
Along with Remake Cinema You Come, which I didn't like that. That was, we were struggling with that bit. Because I'd written this whole scene where Adam McNabb was meant to say, oh, we make cinema, there's nothing worth dying for, this is it. And I thought, oh, that's really cheesy, I can't say that. And then Nicky Evans said, why don't you do it like that bit in Dead Man's Shoes, where he goes, what are you looking at? You cunt! And I thought, oh, okay, let's try it. And then Adam did it, right? They had to send me out of the room because I was just pissing myself. And they managed to just get one take. It's a little bit soft as well, because it was the only one we got, and I was like, we'll never get better than that, let's go with it. And that was our shot. But yeah, we're just making stuff up as we go sometimes. So.
Marc, I'm afraid I have to ask the last question.
Okay.
You've just finished making a Western. When can we see it?
The Western was a weird, because that happened, we were trying to get money for this film, and we had a note back that someone else offered money to do this. So this other company said, well, do you want to do a Western as well? And I thought, oh shit, 2 jobs, that's amazing, I could do with another job. So I said yes, and after working nights doing that for days, it was amazing. It was so easy compared to this. Doesn't mean the film's any good. I'm a little bit worried. But yeah, this is me waffling because I forgot the question.
When can we see?
Okay, so that's coming out in December, I think, in the US. So Sony US have got that, your classic straight DVD for that one. But then we've got. But they like it though. They're not like, oh, straight DVD, fuck this. They're super happy. They've made lots of films and they don't like any of the films that they've sort of made, but they want to screen this one for investors. So I might get a third job if all goes well. Tell them they're going to be drinking.
Real stories about the film. Searing insights. Ladies and gentlemen, we've run out of time, I'm afraid. I think Marc's bound to be in the bar.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much for coming to Mayhem, and thanks so much for bringing the film.
Thank you very much.